welcome. It's going to be a beautiful day of Overwatch League today. Getting ready for London Spitfire versus the Houston Outlaws. I can't wait to get the matches rolling. Doe and Monte Cristo here, guys, to kick things off on this wonderful Saturday. And hey, should be a pretty fun one.
Yeah, it's, well,
for one team anyway. But, we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, this is a chance for the Houston Outlaws to actually claim a victory here in Stage 2. London Spitfire is going to be playing for seeding in our Stage 2 playoffs.
There you go.
Obviously, I mean, at 5-1 and plus 12, still feeling pretty comfortable, but it would be nice for them to sort of crack into that top 4 if possible.
Well, I believe if they sweep and then New York performs poorly, London can still win the Atlantic Division. So they've got a shot anyway, but they do need to sweep Houston to get there. And, you know, when we talk about London, you have to keep in mind that they've actually had a pretty soft stage as far as the matchups have been concerned. Check it out.
Yeah, and if you look at it, they did, of course, lose to the Hunters, which was a pretty big upset on our Dallas homestand weekend. But it's also probably, I mean, arguably the strongest opponent outside of Philadelphia that they faced. And Chengdu came in with their normal Chengdu things. London Spitfire tried to make a pivot onto Sombra for Profit, and it wasn't very effective. As diverse as Profit's hero pool is, he didn't look great on that compared to the Zarya that he spent most of his time playing this stage. But it really looked to me like they were trying to replicate the success that the LA Gladiators had using Sombra against the Chengdu Hunters, particularly against the Pharah. Didn't really suit London, though, and they did get that upset. So this is very important today.
They've had some more time to practice. We'll see if they're able to put that practice into a win against their team. Let's hear it for our first team in this series. It's the London Spitfire. Spitfire, of course, are reigning Overwatch League champions and perhaps on their way to a stage playoffs. Well, definitely on their way to a stage playoffs, but perhaps in first place if they can get a big win today. I agree with you, Monty, though, that match against the Hunters was potentially very telling about where this team is at, and I think we're going to need to see something pretty convincing today to convince me they're going to get far in the playoffs.
I mean, London still reacts badly to surprises. When they are challenged in-game, I think their players don't react very well with team composition swaps, and that really hurts them. So if they're going to play a standard 3-3 game today, expect London to be dominant. But if the Outlaws throw some weird looks at them, they could take a few maps off of London.
We'll find out. Time to introduce our second team in this series, back in LA after a weekend in Texas. Let's hear it for the Houston Outlaws. And the Outlaws taking the stage, searching for that win here in Stage 2. It's been a rough road.
And this is going to be their strongest 3-3 lineup, running Coolmat, Spree, and Jake. Of course, this doesn't give the team a lot of flexibility within the game. When you see this lineup, you know what it's going to be. It's going to be Reiner, Winston, 3-3, and that's what they have to offer. But at the same time, it's the most competitive 3-3 lineup that they have. So definitely their best shot in 3-3. Will that be enough to overcome one of the best Zaryas that we've had in Stage 2 and Profit? That's the big question.
Yeah, I'm really wondering how these guys are going to do. And, you know, we go back to kind of talk about how their season has gone so far. You and I were chatting about this before the matches today, and I'm like, well, you know, maybe they should have meant some more changes in the offseason. You were like, well, they nearly got into the playoffs. Why would a team in that situation necessarily feel the need to make those changes? So it's interesting to look at them. But
yeah, I do think that a lot of the fan criticism is sort of unfounded. But let's take a look at Profit, because this guy, MVP candidate for sure this year, of course, our season playoffs finals MVP last season. And you can see his graviton efficiency has gone through the roof. And London, they struggled in their starting roster, whether it was going to be Bird Ring on the Zarya, of course, Guard played a bunch in Stage 1, and Profit on the Brigitte. But they came back in Stage 2, and now we see Profit taking over the Zarya, and this is a guy who seemingly can play everything, except Sombra last week.
Well, I mean, he's kind of been the total package DPS to this team, right, where he can flex onto the flex tank, which is vital in the meta, and he has looked good on pretty much everything else, except for the Sombra, like you're saying. But there's always time. This guy, I am absolutely confident can become good on any hero he wants to become good on.
I mean, there was a conversation that they had on Watchpoint whether if we did have a draft, he would be the first pick. I would take him first.
Oh, yeah, no doubt,
for sure.
Well, let's take a look at our map set brought to you by Toyota. I'd actually take Jonai, but Profit is pretty good too. Lijiang Tower is going to be our first map in this series for Control. Then we're going to Assault. Hanamura will be our map there. Kings Row for Hybrid and Junkertown for Escort.
Yeah, Kings Row, a good sign for the Outlaws. They've looked pretty strong on that map. Lijiang Tower is a map that we've seen them play Jake on Pharah so far this stage, so they do have a little bit more flexibility here if they decide to run it.
True enough.
But not on this point. Most likely, we do see that Pharah come out on Gardens rather than Night Market, which we are going to start off with.
We used to see, actually, Pharah on Night Market once in a while. You know, if you can take the point first, there's a lot of edges to knock people off of. But as the meta developed, it's just a little bit too risky to rely on that Pharah, especially if you end up in a situation where you need to retake. So, yeah, we don't see him much on this point anymore. It will be 3-3 with the Reinhardt for both teams here.
That's going to start in, starting to poke away already. Bedosin a little bit of an early edge here in terms of hitting those orbs. Gesture chunked out early, though.
Yeah, gotta be careful. Oh, Gesture really low now. They have to get him in the back lines, keep him safe here. Now Profit charged up, going for some damage onto Jake, whose shield has run out. Bedosin finishes him, and now it's a 6v5 for London. As they walk towards the point here, Outlaws in big trouble. The charge comes through from Muma. It brings Gesture low, but it doesn't kill him.
That's a big elimination.
Instead, Profit dies. Umat D-Max, so London's still in this one, but Houston fighting back in a big way. Forced out of the point here, so London might be able to claim it first, and looks like it's going to be a little bit, I don't know, this fight's crazy, man. Houston actually backed off, but now they're back in. There's a shatter, it knocks out Birdring. The charge takes Zenyatta away. He's still in trance, so he doesn't die. And this is nuts right off the bat, man. Houston on the verge of flipping this one back again. The grab already. Are you kidding me? That grab came so fast from Spree.
And they're coming back. I mean, everybody's back right now. London did flip the point, though. Grab for Profit. Can they get the damage in? Trying, but the trance is there from Raucus.
Dude, they tried to use the sound barrier on the London side, but it was after Gesture died. And Houston able to clean it up. They still haven't taken the point back. Like, London's actually still getting percentage until right about now. So after all of that, 31% for London. So not a bad start, considering they never really felt like they were in control of the point, but Houston with a good shot to hold it for a while.
I mean, the ult economy is pretty similar, honestly, though. The big thing is that Spree almost did Graviton Surge, and Bedosin not that close to his Transcendence. Will take a little bit of poking here in order to reach up to that. And we do see an aggressive defense here trying to chunk out Fury. Spree the grab, but it gets eaten.
Man, he had it so fast, but it just got wasted. Now he's gonna get wasted as well. He's out Birdring, finds some revenge, and there's Profit with a kill onto Raucus as well. Fury charging in, and it looks like Outlaws are gonna have to give this one over after only about 30-40% themselves.
I mean, that was the big advantage right there for the Outlaws, was the fact they had the grab and Bedosin didn't have the trance. They tried to use it before Bedosin could get the trance up. It gets eaten by Fury, who has been a very hungry D.Va player this stage.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that was an exciting first part of this round, wasn't it?
Yeah, very exciting and surprising too, but London bouncing back. Outlaws dedicated 2 ults to that losing engagement. They will be coming up on 4, but London will be right there to match them.
Yeah,
fight should be pretty even.
A Gesture. Somebody has the NYXL player today. What in the world? I don't know what's going on there. All right. Perhaps. Oh, Gesture. Knocked back. A lot of damage. Fury trying to protect with the self-destruct. Raucus trances as Outlaws move in. It's going to be a trance in response from Bedosin as well. And London just trying to stay on the point. There's the grab, but the big shatter comes in from Muma, and the kills for the Outlaws trying to make something happen now. Sound barrier just in time to save Gesture and Birdring, but they're getting forced off the point regardless. Bedosin down, Fury out of his mech. Spree, though, in a lot of trouble. London Spitfire
still fighting. I mean, Gesture's just
all the end.
Swinging away. They won that with a player down on the Houston Outlaws.
This has been one of the scrappiest points we've had all season long.
Yeah, this has been weird for sure. And that
barroom brawl of a match right now.
I mean, another Graviton here. Birdring trying to make his way back to the point. Outlaws will get there before Birdring can rejoin the teammates. Brief 6 versus 5, and that's where the grab comes in.
99% for Outlaws. Muma with a good charge against Gesture, as the Outlaws have a real chance to flip it back. Now Fury able to get his self-destruct off just in time. Any kills? No, none with that. Raucus protecting his team as they move in anyway. And Spree with a lot of damage. Should be in a pretty good spot. to force a lot of the London members off the point. And, you know, if you're London, maybe it's time to just kind of gracefully back off this one.
No, I mean, they're hiding behind cover until Gesture gets back. They're waiting for Gesture. They're going back in. Gesture's return.
I mean, Prophet's 98%. He's got his grab right now. A good grab could turn it around for London. They're going to try it. Muma with the counter shatter onto Birdring. Here he gets D-Mag, but Muma goes down. Cool Man self-destruct gets Prophet. So a lot of damage out of the way on the London side, but they've got the sound barrier. Trying to get in onto the remaining members of Houston, who have still not flipped the point, actually. But now Gesture's down. So Houston still sticking in there, and maybe Spree with his grab now can turn it around.
I mean, it's a 3 versus 6 now, so London actually has to back off the point. Houston Outlaws eventually win the scrap.
All right, then.
And London resets their ult economy pretty hard right there. Raucus had to use the trance just to clean things up, but Outlaws retain that Graviton Surge. They can play aggressively again. If it does not get eaten this time, we could be heading to a 99-99 scenario.
Yeah, it's been close. Either way. Bidoshin close to his Transcendence now. And the Outlaws trying to defend. We'll see. Prophet doesn't have his Zarya shield at the moment. His self-shield. That's going to make him wait out a little bit. He needs to get a little bit of help back as well.
Bidoshin also got the trance up, so they're more confident on this approach.
Oh, that's a nice shatter.
Just saved in the nick of time, but not enough. The sound barrier falls.
He goes down anyway. They needed him up. They needed that grab. And London in prime position to take this round now.
You can't have that happen.
Yeah.
You can't have that Zarya either use the grab and get an eaten or fall in the start of that fight. Get stunned
London's
instantly
so
by London.
Decisive. I mean, London knew exactly what they needed to do there. They needed to kill Spree before he could use the grab. They did it. They won the round.
But you have to peel. If you're Houston, you must peel for that Zarya to give the opportunity. London realized some critical cooldowns were down and just leapt onto Spree. The sound barrier saved him, but it was only for a moment. The focus fire of London, too strong.
Houston needed to be like a banana and peel, but instead they were like a banana and split. I'm going to retire, guys. Goodbye.
I think that's a new highlight for your career. Now's not the time to retire, Doa.
It never ends, does it? We're going to Gardens. Houston Outlaws still sticking on that 3-3. Looks like they might run Moom on the Winston, which would not shock anybody.
Yeah, Winston definitely the hero for this map. However, Reinhardt going to be the choice for the London Spitfire. So obviously, you're making a big commitment to taking this point first and sitting on it, because you have to reapproach with the Reinhardt win. The Winston has that Primal Rage, can make things a bit tricky.
That's the plan, to make things tricky. Winston right now, Muma trying to disrupt the team a little bit on the other side. Didn't get a lot of charge early on, down to about 4th, jumping in for another. A little bit of charge building here. Gesture getting low. Only 300 HP on that shield right now. He's gonna get stunned. He's in a lot of trouble. Ooh, gets the healing from the shield pack at the very end, and that keeps him alive. Meanwhile, Muma does go down to Prophet. You can't blame Houston for getting aggressive there. It really looked like they were gonna get the kill on the Gesture, but it's not working out.
Prophet just finishing Muma off on that Winston early. Muma only got 37% of an ult charge, and that means he's going to change. Like, you're just not going to be able to reapproach with that Winston and try and take the point if you don't have anything close to Primal. I think that's a very smart call from the Outlaws to make the switch now.
Yeah, rough moment, but at least you can kind of recover gracefully if you make the tank swap quickly. Bidoshin, though, with that Transcendence already in London, actually with a good amount of ultimates coming online soon. Ooh, nice shot from Bidoshin. Actually took a big chunk out of Spree. Did that right click. He's deadly, man. We've seen him make so many picks. Gotta watch out for Rockets on the other side, of course. But here we go. Rallies on both teams as they run in. There's the grab. Bidoshin there to cover for his team. Nuss can't be saved anyway. And now the shatter from Muma comes in. Doesn't really knock anybody down. And London responding with their own grab. Fury there with a self-destruct. Oh, they knocked Muma out of his shield.
The charge!
Time. That was a great charge from Gesture. Pays for it, though. Now with the sound barrier, I don't know, Outlaws might be able to bring this one back.
Sound barrier comes in from the Spitfire. They are down a player, though, and they're still gonna pick things up as we see Birdring rejoining the rest of them.
I mean, it's really Spree doing all this damage right now. That said, Jake down. It's been such a back and forth fight between both of these teams here on both rounds now. London, though, they're getting those respawns in, but they've got too chunked out, man. They've taken a lot of damage, but Outlaws are the ones that have to back away instead.
I mean, this is the game London wants to play. They want to play these skirmishes. They want to 1v1 you because pound for pound, player for player, they are better on an individual level than the Outlaws. So this is probably suiting them just fine.
All right, Nice charge. Now it's taken out by Muma. Takes out of that Graviton Surge, but the grab comes back in for London, and that's 2 kills on that one. Gesture gets his own charge kill on the Reinhardt, and that is a really clean team fight win for London. They don't even give the point over, and they're at 90% right now.
Yeah, a couple of Outlaws players, Spree and Boink, going to make it back over to their side. No ults for London, though, and not even close. Just that Earth Shatter, really.
I mean, Prophet's not there either. Boink got like a last-minute boop on him at the end of that fight. That could be really big, but they lose Jake. Muma drops a Shatter, and he doesn't hit anybody really with it either. They've got the sound barrier, but London Spitfire, they've got their Zarya back in the fight again. So I don't know. That's a problem. Shatter comes in for Gesture. It does split the Outlaws in half here. And London has everything they need to claim this map, win the fight. That's about that.
I mean, coming into that fight, it was a 5 versus 6 for London.
Yeah.
Without Prophet, they had one ult that was a Shatter. There was a sound barrier and a Transcendence up on the side of the Outlaws. You can't lose that. If you're that, you cannot. That is inexcusable.
London knew exactly what they needed to do in that situation. They're like, we have the disadvantage. We have to be hyper aggressive.
Yep.
We're not going to lose anything by doing that. Got the free kill into Jake. Worked out. That's map 1. When we come back, we'll see if Houston can tie it up.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Ah, yes. What magnificent skins those are. The All-Star Lucio and Mercy skins, of course, are going to be available from May 7th to 22nd for 200 Overwatch League tokens apiece. It's actually not that much. You watch the league a lot.
That's
that
true.
pretty quick. I know that because I turn the stream on before I come to the studio every day. And I come home and I spend my league tokens.
Very good, very good.
I'm still watching the games.
They got the Night Elf Mercy skin there.
Yeah, and Lucio.
And Lucio.
And Lucio.
Looking like a
Sun
magnificent
and moon.
lion.
What do you think next year's dichotomy is going to be? You know, we had Sun and Moon. What's it going to be next time? What do you think?
Darkness and light. There you go.
I think it's going to be peanut butter and jelly.
That would be a very interesting skin.
Yeah, we'll work on it. Going to Hanamura for our next map. It's going to be our Sultan map. London Spitfire taking Lijiang Tower with the 2-0 victory over the Houston Outlaws. But now we go to a place where they love Hanzo so much, they put his ultimate on all of their doors. How about that? And the bells, too.
Just dragons everywhere.
That's right. Yeah.
wasn't very creative.
I mean,
He just stole it. He just stole his ultimate from all the bells and doors.
It's kind of supposed to symbolize, you know, maybe the conflict between Genji and Hanzo. And
Is it?
The two dragons at odds with each other.
One
Yeah,
of,
see
one of
the big
those
painting?
Yeah, one of those dragons isn't like cybernetic though, so
Like,
it's not really reflective of reality.
it's interesting, you know, that they're like, wow, we're going to put a huge piece of art in our shrine about how much the sons in our family dislike each other.
And attempt to murder each other.
You thought your family had problems. Well, London Spitfire on the attack here. They're going with the Reinhardt. Almost 3-3. Profit on the Sombra, as was foretold. We'll see if he swaps, though. Might just be some scouting here.
Yeah, it will be just the scout.
All right.
And once they see the Winston 3-3, they'll switch over to their own Winston 3-3, so not decided to take the Reinhardt, at least at first here. Might be trying to get onto that high ground. They're just gonna send him in, like Jester just runs onto that high ground to disrupt.
I mean, they nearly killed Muma. It nearly worked there. And actually, they're going after him again. Muma, they're trying to finish him right now. He's got like no health remaining. Rockus just barely trying to get in range here. Muma on the run, snags a big health pack. Spree goes down in the meantime, though. London already causing more than enough chaos to deliver the point A.
Wow, well, that chunk really hurt the Houston Outlaws coming in. Muma could not get onto the point, had to go back to the health pack, and that meant Jake was on the outside isolated. London has done an excellent job of isolating some of the players in these fights. Spree that time, even though Gesture was hit by the sleep dart, Spree the first one to fall.
Yeah.
And it seems like Outlaws didn't really know where to go there to collect after they got hit off the high ground. Meanwhile, Spitfire now, this could be a very fast snowball. This is kind of scary.
Nearly 7 minutes in the time bank for London. They've got a lot of ults coming. Meanwhile, Houston's ult economy is in shambles.
Especially Rockus had to switch off the Ana over to the Zen.
Yeah.
So, gonna get even a bit rougher right now. Jester gonna leap in one more time.
Not gonna get booped away this time. They were ready for him, Boink.
He's nearly got that primal already.
Yeah, that's right. He's gonna have it in just a second. He basically needs to tickle somebody, and he's gonna have that ultimate available. He's hanging out on the high ground right now.
Dropping to the point.
Yeah, that's right. Outlaws trying to find somebody alone on London, but it's not working out. Muma low again. He has to use that primal. They're going to trap him in the grab, though. Rock is already down. London, it feels like they're reading Houston's mind right now. They have the exact right answer for everything the Outlaws are trying to do in this fight.
And they're gonna get pushed back, so here we go. London Spitfire on the point, 2 ticks taken. It's all about trying to get the stragglers from Houston. Rally popped by Jake.
That point down immediately. Muma trying to stay alive here. It's a 5v6. Spree out of the mech. There we go. Or Kumat ran out of the mech. There's the self-destruct. Muma tries to charge away, gets booped, runs into the wall. He's going to go down. Rockus not able to get there with the Transcendence soon enough. London Spitfire, though, they've got the sound barrier, and they're going to go right back in again.
Ooh, that's a grab, though.
Okay.
Houston might be able to stabilize here.
Maybe a chance here to turn it around. A big chance, I would say. Gesture not going to get a whole lot of healing right now.
Yeah,
but
they're
who's
going to
left from London. That's going to be it. Houston somehow holds Spree, saving the day there.
Yeah, London pushed up, and Spree caught them in the Graviton Surge. London used their sound barrier just a hair too early. Outlaws come back with the sound barrier of their own and managed to push it out with the Graviton Surge. So London now has to regroup, but they've only got that 1 tick to take.
London didn't get to use that Transcendence from Bedoshin at the end as well. That's a problem. Kumat looks like he had to swap and get his mech back, so that's going to reset his ult economy.
Yeah, and look at this. I mean, the grab's coming up. Outlaws have a rally. This probably is going to go pretty fast here.
I mean, Houston only has 1 tick left to give up before this point belongs to London, so it's rough. Rockus already down. Melee did that by Fury. Gesture looking for another kill onto some of the members. There's the grab, and Gesture is there. Look at all that damage. There's nothing to stop it. Like you said, man, all they had was a rally. That is not enough, and that's a round. Great time bank set by London.
Beautifully played by London, but Outlaws were just helpless. They get the initial pickoff by playing aggressively with the Primal Rage. They have a 6 versus 5 on the point. There's only the rally, easy grab, easy team fight win with only 1 tick. Spitfire, take 2.
A lot to make up when Houston comes back. We'll see if they can pull it off.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Oh, welcome back. London doing pretty well. 423 on the time bank after their attack on Hanamura. And how about that gesture, man?
It could have been faster, but Gesture here on that first A attack, jumps in, has the bubble, manages to displace them on the high ground and chunk out Muma because they had the Orb of Discord where it was the Ana on the other side. So his bubble managed to block that line of sight. So good chunk, and that enabled them to take over the point. Then on B there, using the Primal Rage to isolate Raucus, and then get the initial pick. That gets them the last tick as they take the 6 versus 5 with a pretty big ultimate advantage. Outlaws, though, they did get a lot more time than we thought they would, especially with how that first fight on B was going.
Well, it's pretty incredible that they were able to hold at all, really.
Yes.
When you think about the situation that they ran into, nobody even close to an ultimate on their side. Spree just kind of lasting, you know?
And here we go. You know, we're into that section right now where the Outlaws have struggled, although they did better against Guangzhou, where they get full held a lot on non-control maps.
Yep.
And that's been the pattern this stage, even though it has improved in the last couple of weeks.
Houston Outlaws on the attack. We'll see if they get anything done here. A little bit of scouting as they decide it's going to be Raucus swapping over to the Ana, actually. Going to try to get a good biotic grenade to set up a push here.
Interesting. So they're going to try and push through with the Ana, just heal up Muma in that front line.
Yeah, just going to jump right onto Gesture. He's got that Zarya shield already, though. Prophet going to be pretty charged up after that one. Charge comes through. Muma manages to get to safety. On the Spitfire. Has him locked down in the house. Gesture waiting for them, and they say come up the stairs, too.
Yeah, he's trying to poke in. Ooh, that bubble was used pretty early. Now he's not going to have it when he drops down. Has his own bubble, however, and that'll be enough.
I mean, Gesture also had his own leaf cooldown too, so he could get away if things got a little bit hairy. So
just gotta be more careful in those scenarios.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So,
you gotta know how to manage that stuff.
And the pros are calling out these cooldowns. They know when they baited out that Zarya bubble.
Yep, definitely. Gesture going in again. He's got his own bubble available to him one more time. Man, he's getting so much charge. Look at that, he's already got Primal Rage. He's gonna use it right away. Goodbye, Outlaws. Oh, the sleep dart, but he gets woken up right away. Rocket's down though. Gesture, mission accomplished, man. He's there to sow chaos, and he has done exactly that.
Now they're all in there. He's going to get even more charge now, getting up to another Primal Rage. Prophet just running in, but look at Gesture. I mean, we've been watching from his perspective. He's been placing this bubble between Raucus's Ana and the rest of the team. It forces Raucus to walk up. He gets a lot more ult charge because Raucus is walking into, with the rest of his teammates, that bubble and in range of the Tesla cannon. Wow. Then he gets the Primal and just splits them up, divide and conquer. I mean, Gesture is having a very good game so far on Winston.
Sure is. Getting so much value. Scrooge McDuck is calling him for financial advice.
I mean, I think Gesture should be allowed to dive into a pile of money personally. He's one of the best players in this league.
I think he probably will be after this year. Badoshin with a kill on Raucus already to start things off. Oh, they tried for the shatter, and it's a good one, but the Transcendence is there. So London doesn't really lose much health on anybody. Instead, they take down Muma, but not before he charges Badoshin into the afterlife. So London will have to probably fight this one 5v6. If Houston regroup fast.
Not only that, Houston got the Transcendence and the rally out and just backed off. So that's a good call from Houston. Now they're going to have that ultimate advantage coming up with 5 as Muma switches over to the Winston. That's a great grab, though.
You gotta see it coming, man. You gotta see it coming. Can they get anything? They get 2 with the self-destruct and make that 3 as cool, man, as D-Mac by it as well. Bird Rank gets bounced off of by Muma, but London's still in the lead in this one. They found Muma, they're gonna eventually take him down, so what could have been a dangerous moment for London is mitigated pretty well.
Yeah, by the Graviton Surge and very self-destruct. The efficiency is crazy, and they're just hunting them down now. Gesture retains his Primal Rage, and you know, watching this game, if you're an Outlaws fan, is like chasing a mirage. You're so thirsty for a win, but every time you get close and you think there's some water there, it just dries up.
Wow, that is a depressing but accurate depiction of this stage for them.
It looks so good, right? They come in with this strong ult economy. You like the way they disengaged on that last fight, and then they just get played.
Yeah. It's been rough. What can you say? Prophet with another grab already. Gets in every fight now. Waiting for it. You can tell Kumat. Oh, the defense matrix went down, and Prophet knew it was time. What do you do? The answer's nothing. You just die, man.
I mean, Fury 8 Spree's grab again. There's no break here. Spitfire just keep on coming.
He came hungry.
They came so hungry. I mean, We talked about it. Fury has been a very hungry diva player this season. His use of that Matrix has been second to none in this league, and it's coming out again. Outlaws have to make MacGyver something out of a Primal Rage, a self-destruct, and a rally.
They're just going to jump right out. Why not? Rocket's down already, though. I mean, when you advance that quick, that Ana is going to be left high and dry. Spree down as well. There's no damage anymore for the Outlaws. They got the Primal Rage. Move's going to need, like, the best environmental kills ever to turn this one around, and I don't think that's going to happen, man. Now Jester's got his own Primal Rage as well, and Muma and Point going to be the final players to fall for Houston here as overtime expires, and that was a dominating win for London, who go up 2-0 in this series.
So impressive. The Spitfire tripped up against Chengdu, but now they're one away from going 6-1 here in stage 2, and they are looking like they're going to head into those stage playoffs looking mighty scary.
I mean, we had doubts about London coming into this match, but they are putting all of those to rest right now. Halftime when we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
The Outlaws are trying to avoid a winless stage 2, and they're already facing an uphill battle in this one. Down 2-0 to the London Spitfire at the break. What's up, everybody? It's halftime. Malik here. We got Zoe and Bren. What are those? What are those,
This is the new Soldier 76 skin, you know?
I love
the Dad 76, you know, he's got the cookout, he's got the apron on, he's got the socks and sandals.
This is what happens when he dresses himself in the morning. Shouldn't
I mess with it, man. You got to keep it comfortable up here.
Of course,
man.
yeah.
We stand a lot.
We're working these long hours, you know? We're standing around a lot. You know?
Right,
We've got to keep it comfortable.
All right, so I feel like we just finished the pre-show because that first half went extremely quick. Brent, you got some intel or some insights powered by Intel.
Yeah, this was there wasn't much to go off. I'm not gonna lie. So instead, I focused on a little individual play coming in from Badosin. This is something that if you're playing Zenyatta in ranks, can pick up. In particular, I'm looking at you, Sideshow. I'm calling you out. Your Diamond Zenyatta gameplay. You need to step it up, son.
Oh, boy.
But Badosin here, he uses Transcendence. And you notice he's going to use it any moment now. Don't leave me hanging, Badosin. There we go. But he used it now to block a lot of the damage. You can see he positioned himself in front of Birdring there, blocking the charge away from him. This is something that a lot of players don't realize at the time, but you know, Zenyatta, when he uses his Transcendence, he's invulnerable for that period. All damage is blocked away from him. You can use that to block a significant amount of damage, especially some of the charges as well, like you saw from there. And this is one thing that separates, I guess, the Overwatch League caliber Zenyatta players from, I guess, your Grandmaster player a lot of the time. And it's a cool little thing to point out, and it's very minor, but it's something that you can incorporate in your own ranked games as well to kind of elevate your own gameplay.
I love that this is the insights we get when Josh isn't here. it's kind of showing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about some of the shining moments from the first half. That boy Prophet, his shots are on the money. He went in again in the first half. What do you guys think of his gameplay?
I mean, it's the same thing over and over again, right? Prophet can do no wrong. Prophet always looks good. He's just one of the most consistent players we have in the league, and this is one of the reasons why so many people would make an argument for him to be the best player we have. Of course, he wasn't alone in this. I think Gesture actually played out of his mind. Prophet, as per usual, eating all the graphs available to him, and frankly, thanks to Spree, there were quite a bunch available to him, as he just seemed to kind of throw it at them more than, you know, at the entirety of the team.
Yeah, I really liked Prophet's gameplay, I think, just throughout, as well as in terms of how consistent he is as a player. And, I mean, Josh was making the argument recently that he is currently the most valuable player in the league. He's like the #1 pick. I would personally disagree with this. I think that if I was to do a draft system, I would probably pick the main tank player first. I think that's probably a safer bet than building around Prophet. But you could definitely make a case for it. I mean, this guy is phenomenal.
The thing is, no main tank will stay alive because he doesn't get the support Prophet can offer.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's just a ridiculous. He is an insane player. I mean, this match alone, the amount of deaths he had, 7. He had 1 of those deaths in map 2. So 6 of his deaths came from his first map, which is just ridiculous. Like, the guy is a phenomenal freak of nature. And it comes down to the fact that he can play so many different roles, including the Zarya. I mean, this is not a hero that he's well known for, but he's picked it up because his team needed it, and he still performs at the very top level of the Overwatch League. It's insane.
MVP candidate for you guys.
Absolutely.
Prophet, yeah?
I mean, I would make an argument. Again, I'd probably say... On the London side, I'd probably put
you
my...
bumpers of the world won't survive. They don't get the bubbles that Prophet
I would say Fury, personally, for my MVP for London.
Okay,
so
that's
far.
fair. That's fair. I think Fury will be fair.
Fury does not get enough credit. I'm completely with you on that. All right, so going into the second half, the Houston Outlaws got a tall mountain to climb. What can they do to adjust going in against the London Spitfire here?
I think they need to adjust their positioning there, because more often than not, it was the game from London Spitfire playing this divide and conquer strategy. They were very good at splitting the Houston Outlaws off. They were very good at splitting the healing away with the bubbles, like forcing Rockers to have to walk around those bubbles. And they need to kind of adjust their approaches to team fights in order to not make that happen. And London Spitfire should be getting away with all of that.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there with that. I mean, Gesture as well as getting away with murder with his bubble placements. Like, he is blocking all the healing away from Raucus, forcing the positioning of Outlaws. His primal rages have been absolutely insane. I think you've got to do a bit more work as well to kind of support Raucus in a lot of capacities. A lot of this blame is falling on his shoulders. Again, I think it's probably down to a lot of the comps as well that he's been playing is Ana as well. Maybe put him more onto the Zenyatta as a counterpoint to that. But, you know, shut down Gesture more is the key takeaway from this.
All right, well, if the Outlaws are going to get back into this game, they're going to have to do it on London's home turf. We're going to Kings Road next. London, they're up 2-0. Can the Outlaws get back into this game and avoid a winless stage? We're going to find out in just a bit. Don't go anywhere.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Welcome back to the Overwatch League. Well, there's a Houston Outlaws watch party going on right now in Houston, Texas, and I want you to be nice, Monty. Once, just be
I mean,
nice.
this is probably the most one-sided battle involving Texans since the Alamo, and I hear they love to remember that. So we should be pretty happy down there.
All right. You're even getting boos here. That's incredible, actually. You get multiple state boos. I like it.
I'm an international boo target, though.
You'll always be my boo.
That's right. And yours too, Outlaws fans. And yours too.
Well, it's been a rough match. It's been a rough stage for the Outlaws. And, you know, we saw that that tweet during the break, too, and that is true. The Outlaws actually traditionally have always beaten the London Spitfires. So it would kind of be a bit of an upset in terms of the overall historical matchup between these two teams for London to win. Obviously, in reality, in where the Overwatch is Overwatch League is right now, not an upset at all for London to win this one.
No, snap back to reality, and even if it was going to be a reverse sweep, Houston Outlaws, which has had this roster of players last year, has only ever reverse swept one time in Overwatch League history, and on map, I believe they are 4-12 now overall on map 5, so gotta count that one kind of in the fringe, like possible, yes, likely, history says no.
Snap back to reality.
Yep.
Oops, there goes a grab from Spree.
Yeah, that's right.
Here he's there. He's eating it. I couldn't rhyme that last part. Someone else can do that. London Spitfire on the attack here as the Houston Outlaws get ready to try to make something happen. And, you know, traditionally, so far the stage defense has been their best round, you know? So if they can get a good defense, maybe, I don't know, man. It's a long shot, but at least they're on their strong point right now.
All right, and they are going to be coming out, just Widosin taking a shot with that Widowmaker, 3-3 on defense here for the Outlaws. Now, Outlaws are 4-1 on King's Row. They did pull off a win earlier this week against the Charge. This was their best map, in my opinion, so this is where the comeback obviously needs to start. And it's probably the best place the Outlaws can make it happen.
I agree. I mean, like we said, a lot of that comes from their defense as well. They are good defensively more than anything. Let's see what they can do, though. Lucas Fire Strike gets eaten, though. That one coming the other way, not so lucky. That shield's getting low, down to about 600 HP here. Gesture walking in with the Zarya shield now. London have muscled their way onto the point, and Houston trying to find a way to push back, but no, Muma down again.
There's just no healing. He had the Discord orb on him. There was no Zarya bubble. His barrier was breaking. Not a lot of choice right there. They had used their healing abilities to heal him up from the earlier chunk, and now London just going to try and get some more of these Zarya alternate fire grenades into the spawn in the subway.
I mean, it's so rough, too, because it just gives so much momentum over to London as well. I mean, look at the grab charges between Prophet and Spree right now. It's 70% to about 40, so it doesn't really get any easier at this point for the Outlaws.
And they already have the Transcendence up as well, so they can play aggressively around that. They're going to know Spree has no charge, so you can just transcend.
Well, they're going in anyway. Move it down right off the bat, man. Jake out of the way as well, and Gesture just bouncing forward like the happy Easter bunny that he is in the series.
Is that what he is?
Spring is broken.
Bouncing around on Winston.
Hop, hop.
Speaking of which,
So
why
joyful.
isn't there an Easter Bunny Winston skin?
That's true. He does hop more than any other character in the game. Although Batiste now has a pretty good leap as well.
That's true. Well, I
make an argument for his skin too.
I'd be down for Bunny onesie, Winston, or Batiste skins, or both.
That's true. I mean, Hex already wore that skin on the desk. So that's something. I guess Bumper did too. Payload is moving. It has not really been stopped at all. Prophet with the grab now.
Nice feed by Pullman.
Yeah, he was ready that time. Ooh, but the Shatter does knock down Rockets. Can they keep alive? They can. Close call there, but the Houston Outlaws on the point. London trying to find a way to push back in, but they're going to have to take it slow now.
And Houston plays this point well. This is where they had a long hold against the Charge earlier this week.
Right.
This is their bread and butter defensive position on King's Row. We've seen them have very good defenses here before, and now it's time to step up again.
Yep. That movement maybe going to Shatter under the card here. That's usually a good one. It's usually a neat trick. Gotta turn that shield around though, man. Self-destruct coming in. Doesn't get any kills here, but now Outlaws get them in the grab. No kills from that either, and Rockets charges back in with the Transcendence. Where's he going? Trying to get back to Muma in time. Had to really kind of make that one awkward, but they do get the kill on the Gesture anyway. Kind of a pincer attack is what that results in. Weird. But London turning it right around again. I mean, at the end of the day,
it's a 5
the
versus
Houston
4.
Outlaws were split too. That's going to be divide and conquer. Another grab to seal the deal. They probably didn't even need that.
They did not need that, I think, but they are just going to make sure, because they have not a very long way, but a long-ish way to push this payload to secure B. So they want to clean it up really fast before any respawns can come in. I think it's a reasonable decision, especially because you have 4.5 minutes to take C. It's not terrible. Not the best, but not terrible either.
I mean, Prophet's going to have another grab like almost instantly again anyway, so why not, man?
Yeah, currently
75% average energy. Whoa!
Yeah, he's also charging his grab at 1:37 per grab compared to 2:18 for Spree right now. That is a huge difference.
Pretty good. All right, London's still pushing forward here. Not as many else, but they get Jake anyway. Fury goes in for the assassination.
Oh, they boot Fury off. So Boink makes a big play right there. Fury had used his boosters and he just heads straight into the pit. So actually, Houston should be able to stabilize. That was really good for Houston because they're going to work their way up to 6 ults after all that poking. And they managed to get Jake's death to mean something by getting the boop onto Fury. So
Fury getting a little bit too far forward there, maybe.
Yeah, definitely was. Now they're going to come back. Fury has returned. Spitfire still going to be trying to match that ult charge. They're nearly at 6 themselves.
That's right, speed boost. Boink bringing his team in, just getting him back on the payload. He's got that sound barrier too. It's going to be 6 ultimates for London right about now.
Yep, they are.
Now, there we go. Yeah.
Jake's rally armor's still up though, so the ultimate's still in effect. Graviton comes in. There's the trance.
All right, Houston going aggressive first. Cool Matt's grab coming down, or self-destruct coming down. Gonna get bird ring with that one.
Really good
placement, but movement down though, and now London striking back again. Fury, oh, that was a shocking. I was really thinking he was going to get a couple kills with that self-destruct, but Houston had the shields. It didn't really save Boink in the end anyway, though.
I mean, that sound barrier looked like it came in just a hair late there.
Maybe
now Spree getting targeted down. Raucus in the corner. Will be a rocket jump, but Bedosin is the one to take him out.
Yeah, Raucus got rocked there a little bit. That payload moving farther and farther towards the end of this one. Uh-oh, Houston Outlaws. They gotta keep holding, man. They gotta burn some more time off the time bank if they want a chance to this map. Muma's shatter doesn't hit anybody. He's gonna get really low now. They gotta keep him alive. Down to lower than half health. But London, wise, not overcommitting to trying to get that kill.
And trying to get Muma still, but his teammates are keeping him up. Graviton's gonna pull him around the other side of the card.
Yeah, London knew they had that grab coming. Now with the Transcendence, they can walk in. Great 2-man shatter from Gesture to set up those kills. And Raucus with the Transcendence, too late to really save anybody of note. And he's gonna go back to try to keep Spree alive. You gotta keep that Zarya in the fight. Kuman gonna get demeched anyway. There goes Jake. And the grab comes in at the end from Spree, but nobody there to capitalize on that damage, really. And it looks like the beginning of the end. How long is the stall from Houston going to be? About that long as London finishes the map.
They do finish with about 1 minute and 40 seconds left, so respectable defense for the Outlaws, but we are going to have to see them push all the way through King's Row when we come back.
Indeed. Not as one-sided as some of the other rounds by any stretch, but the Outlaws still need to equalize. We'll see if they can do that when we come back.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
we're back. The London Spitfire getting the job done on attack, but Houston Outlaws holding them to minute 47. Still a good time bank, but could have been a lot more.
I mean, I think it's impressive, actually, the Outlaws held them to that small amount of time, because in terms of eliminations, that map was 28-4 in favor of the Spitfire. And with those kind of numbers, not even killing every player one time, in fact, Prophet, Bedosin, and Nuss not dying at all on that attack, you would expect a faster time. So I think that's a really actually quite good credit to the Houston's ability to play the payload and stall things out.
That is actually intriguing. Watch player POVs. Hey, check it out, man. You can get on the All Access Pass. Watch right now. You can go and look it from anybody's view at all. I would recommend Bedosin personally.
Gesture's
Or
pretty
Rockets
fun to watch
as
this
well.
match.
Yeah, Gesture too, but you know me. More for the flex support kind of thing, but either way, you can watch what you want. You have the power. Well, Houston Outlaws on the attack now, and we'll see what they can get done.
This is it. They have to push through if they want a shot here to not have the defeated 0-7 stage.
This is their stage on the line right now.
And London looking for that elusive first victory ever against the Outlaws team. And considering both of these teams have not substantively changed their players since between seasons, this is pretty important.
Yeah, that's right. Muma trying to build up that shatter, getting closer now as they push forward. But man, if you would have told me that in our first two stages we'd have both the Valiant and the Outlaws going 0-7, I would have not believed you. Yeah. It happened to the Valiant, and now it is on the verge of happening to the Outlaws, and they lose Muma, which makes it look even more like a sure thing at this point. A good fight for London to start off their defense.
London Spitfire is just coming in and separating the members of the Outlaws. It's they're forming this spear that is dividing the teams into two halves, and then London's collapsing on one of the halves, and there's not a lot of defense you can do in that situation. Prophet is putting up a few bombs there, seeming to get a little bit of extra ult charge as they come in.
Right, you do that so that you can reload, and then when the up team attacks, ideally they're falling on them while you have full energy still. Nice little trick that you can do. If you're Zarya and you have good timings.
Playing around the statue right now. Shatter!
Gesture! So sneaky, but he gets counter shattered. Houston, what a great recovery from them as they get two on the return fire. Rockets was ready, man.
Oh, you get a nice bonus there, too, is that the trance was used by London. That was cocky. Houston, this time, instead of getting divided, instead of playing aggressively, they wait for Gesture to get poke out just a little too far forward. Yeah. They pull back and they target him quickly. That time, Houston Outlaws are not split up.
I mean, you can't blame the Spitfire for being a bit cocky there. But that was recovery. What? They're going back in. Whoa, okay. Like a ninja out of nowhere, man.
Yeah, Prophet still has not died this map. He was hiding, and the timing with the respawns was just perfect. And here comes the spawn cam.
Someone told Prophet today that like you're gonna close brown eyes, green eyes, blue eyes. He's jumping in.
He's going in.
I guess so. Houston Outlaws trying to come back from spawn now. That payload barely even made it out of the door. They got a chance now.
Yeah, he's gonna play the choke though, get a little bit of extra ult charge as they come out of the spawn.
Yep.
And get behind cover and start to rebuild those ultimates.
All right, grab, gotta make something out of it. Soundbearer comes in, Muma takes somebody for a ride though. Takes out Prophet, who ends up finishing himself off with a right click. Now Fury in on a Rockets trying to find that assassination on the Zen, but he's on his own. Houston Outlaws turning collapse on him, so this defense falling apart a bit now for London.
Yeah, great charge by Muma off of the Graviton Surge. Does get stunned right there. Doesn't really matter. Bedosin will take out Jake, but those spawns going to come in much faster for the Outlaws. Outlaws also only use the grab, crucially. They have had moments today where their ult economy has looked disciplined. This is one of them.
Yeah. They're making progress. Nearly 6 ultimates. London Spitfire. Pretty close to having 5 themselves once Prophet's grab comes back online.
Yeah, we'll be 5 versus 5 in the next fight. And it's about how many ults they can force the Outlaws to use with the Graviton Surge. Rally comes in for both teams.
Yep, as it often does. Self-destruct coming in now from Cool Matt. No kills out of that one, though. Prophet. The rest of the London Spitfire returning fire. Muma gets a little bit deplaced. Ooh, manages to block some of that shatter, but his shatter not doing a whole lot either. Charge does not connect. Gesture really low. Luckily, they have the self-destruct there to cover, get the chance to get healed up, and now the grab comes in from London. Doesn't matter though, as Jake gets 2 out of that.
Prophet took a
before going
long
down.
time to charge up that Graviton
Yeah.
surge, and in fact, Spree was able to get his out first, despite starting at a lower percentage. However, Prophet still up here. It's a 2 versus 4 right now. It is Prophet and Brigitte Bertrand.
Ruckus! He's down, and Boink has to run as well. Somehow Birdring and Prophet.
That was a 2 versus 4.
That's crazy, man. But if you're going to have 2 people on your team up and fighting, you're going to want the Brigitte and the Zarya. That's really tough to fight through. Those are the 2 that you could expect could win that.
I mean, you get all, he had the Inspire Aura up. Prophet, of course, with those bubbles. There just wasn't enough damage from the Diva and the supports left from the Houston Outlaws.
Yeah.
And with an high energy Zarya, it is scary, and sometimes you can turn fights like that.
I mean, Birdring and Prophet just reminding everybody that they're still DPS at heart, even if they're not really getting to play those heroes right now. Outlaws back on the point again. They've got some ultimates on the way, but only 1:30 in the time bank right now.
They have to use the self-destruct to engage. There it is.
Yeah, right. Shield's coming in. No kills out of that one. Gesture does get Spree, though. That's going to be a quick and clean fight for the Spitfire.
I mean, look how fast Prophet got the next Graviton right now. He's at a 1:15 to time to get grab right now compared to Spree's 1:44. That's 30 seconds almost of difference, 29 seconds. So Prophet really leading in that category, and as you can see, had back-to-back grabs because of that 2 versus 4 that they took.
He's doing a great job of fitting in every little point of damage he can, you know, with a lot of good accurate right clicks, shooting the right clicks up in the air like we saw, and just getting the shields in the right place at the right time.
Now, Outlaws, though, they used the self-destruct engage to really build up some ults, and London committed a sound barrier to that in addition to the grab.
Yeah.
So Houston was playing for this fight. This is the fight they wanted to win.
Yeah, after a little bit of poking, they should be well equipped. They're going in now, they've got the ultimates. London knows that. They're going to give up a lot of ground. Yeah, they're going to try to make that rally not count for a whole lot. Houston's still in a good spot, though.
Well, they know the grab's coming up, and they want the trance, and they just got it.
Yep, that's right. Now the Reinhardt mind games. Gesture looking for a shatter here. Engage with the self-destruct. There's the shatter. Doesn't get anybody, though. Gesture low. That's right. Boink used the sound barrier. They're going to bring Bedosian in with the Transcendence here, but now the grab from the Houston Outlaws is going to make a big difference after the Transcendence ends, and Houston able to turn that one around. I feel like London did what they could. They defended for as long as possible, but they had to give that one up. Now, big thing there, Prophet still has that grab.
He does, and not only that, Outlaws played that pretty well because they forced the trance early before they had to use grab by chunking out Gesture. So Bedosian had to use it to keep Gesture up, and then they timed the Graviton very well.
Right.
Spree throws it down as the trance channel is finishing, and that's what gets them the fight. So good fight from the Outlaws, recognizing what they needed to do, and they managed to execute, but they saw this corner. Jake gonna run around here, try for a trick play, and he's gonna get Bedosian. Very nice
that was
trick. Very nice.
That was so sick, man. He had Bedosian dead to rights. Now he's going to go after the Lucio instead. No, I forget that. That was weird. Fury down as well, so Houston Outlaws still rolling forward, and they needed this. They have less than a minute on the clock right now. They need to win every fight.
That's a big brain play from the Houston Outlaws because you have to win every fight. You need this time on the clock. So if you can get a pick early and change the tide of battle, you're going to go for it. Prophet still with the Graviton.
Well, that's what it's going to take. They're going to need that great grab. They're going to trap movement. Jake in it right now. They need to kill it. Ruckus at the Transcendence. Cool man with the self-destruct. Gesture does take out Jake with the charge, though. So London able to push forward here. And Houston, they can't lose anybody on the way out here, man. That's the thing.
And that's why
really
they have
can't.
to throw the grab, but it's just not going to do anything.
No! Houston Outlaws, this is their stage, man. They need to win this map to keep themselves alive in this series, but they've only got 10 seconds remaining and only the sound barrier. The Outlaws staring 0-7 in the face, and I don't think there's much they can do to stop it.
No, there's not. Spree's going to be low, does get his bubble up, but just nobody's there.
London takes the 3-0, and that means it will be an 0-7 stage for the Houston Outlaws.
Not only that, Spitfire, they are padding that map differential for stage playoffs. That will affect their seeding. It's their first win ever against Houston.
Yeah, well, it's been a long time coming, and kind of shocking that it took until the end of stage 2 for London to win against Houston for the first time, but what a big one it is. Quick break, and when we come back, map 4.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, guys. Well, we got one map to play, but the win-loss is in the books. London Spitfire taking the first 3 maps, and the stage winner, or the, not the stage, we get to the match winner. Houston Outlaws, though, gonna have that 0-7 stage regardless of the result of map number 4, but wow, I'm surprised. I'm surprised it came to this.
I'm not.
That's all there is to say.
That's all there is to say.
Yep.
That said, we are going to head into this map 4. It is still consequential for the London Spitfire.
Yeah.
Every map here, they didn't have a great stage 1, it has to be said. So does make a big difference, I think, to have them in the stage playoffs. You would much rather be in the top 4. Avoids a lot of potential first-round problematic matchups versus some very strong teams.
Well, it's like we said at the beginning of the match, right? London kind of need to 4-0 this series, and then they need to have New York perform poorly, and they can still take the Atlantic Division top spot. So there is still something to play for here as we move forward. Prophet, man, what a great day this guy's had. Same with Gesture.
Yeah, I think the London Spitfire have done a fantastic job. They bounced back from that kind of weird loss versus Chengdu where they regressed into a lot of their bad habits, I would say, from stage 1, and they bounced back and looked like the stage 2 team again. Now, whether that was a difference in quality of opponent or whether that was London themselves remains to be seen, but we will have that answer in the stage playoffs.
Substitution! Guess what? It's victory lap time, and Krillin is going to be driving the pace car, whatever you do for victory lap. I don't know how racing works.
I mean,
other than there's cars.
They've taken out Goku, and now they put in Krillin. So this means like they're testing out the power level right now.
I don't feel like Bidoshin's really the Goku of this team.
Okay.
I would say he's probably like the Trunks of this team.
Okay.
He's definitely a strong Saiyan,
Fair.
but
Okay.
he's not quite like Mega main character.
All right,
you know?
all right.
Yeah.
So you'd say Jonak or Twilight would be the Goku of this.
Well, I'm just saying about like London Spitfire specifically.
Okay.
Of the league, though, yeah, Jonak's my Goku, sure.
All right.
Yeah, why not?
Jonak's my Goku.
My Goku. I print about 1 million bumpers to that. Jonak is my Goku. It's true.
Well,
and fusion dance with him any day. Well, it's a tough one for the Houston Outlaws, obviously, and you know, there's a big break between stage 2 and 3, so some time to rework some things on the Outlaws side. We hope they come back stronger.
Absolutely.
We'll see what they can do on Junkertown, though. They can still come away with a map win, at least, in this series.
Well, and we talked a lot about, you know, I think there has been a lot of talk from fans saying, okay, why didn't they do more than the offseason? But I think if you look at it objectively, Houston were 1 game away from making the season playoffs. Yeah. And if they had won 1 match against Philadelphia, they would have taken that 6th seed. And it's my opinion that because the meta was the way it was, I think it's possible they could have made the grand finals. You look at that meta, Orisa, double sniper with the Widowmaker and the Hanzo, you think, wow, this really suits Houston's style last season. So I think if you're looking at it objectively, they had tracer problems, they pick up Dante. I don't think you can really fault the Outlaws organization for their moves during the offseason because it looked good, and we thought it looked good at the time, but they could not have predicted this meta. So,
well, we have a little bit of a different look from the Outlaws, starting at the defense here on Junkertown. Boink on the Batiste, and it's going to be Jake on the May. I like this composition, actually. I think Maywall's great for splitting people up. I think the Batiste is great against the dive that London has been, or the aggression at least, that London has been bringing towards the Outlaws.
Yeah, gotta hit the May walls though. And Outlaws, you know, we've seen a little bit of May play from Linkser as well on this roster.
They
are hiding it.
I mean, you can press tab, I suppose, to find out, but still.
You can press tab now. Enough time has elapsed.
Right.
So they will be aware, and that's probably why they're falling back. We are going to see Fury on the Junkrat. Interesting.
Interesting. Very interesting. Fury's going to go around the side.
Trying to move them forward right now. They're very aware of this wall, and they're trying to keep them bottled up.
Oh, but they're going to have Coolmat to contend with right there. Yeah.
They're trapping the back door so they can't get out.
Oh, that's not a room you want to be in.
Oh, no!
Oh, dear.
This is such a smart counter.
In there.
Oh, boy. Like, they just trapped them in that room, and they can't use the wall efficiently because they're stuck in the choke. So it's just grenades. Just grenades in the room.
Triggered means so much more than what Junkrat's abilities are doing right now.
Oh, no. I mean, they can't get out. I mean, they're stopping the payload, but it's slowly inching along. They have to trance out of the room.
All right, well.
And they can't use wall. Everybody's split up in the open right now. The wall is useless. Oh, no.
Oh, all right. Well, they knocked down Prophet. Can they finish him? The tire comes in and says, hello. I'm going to do damage to you, but not kill you, apparently. Uma really low, though. Everybody really low. It's only a matter of time now before the rest of the Outlaws fall, and they're going to go ahead and use that amplification matrix, but the only thing it's going to amplify is their sadness.
I mean, I got. I mean, I can't respond to that now.
I call him like I see him, Monty.
I'm just impressed that London made an audible to switch to that composition. Usually we don't see London with the best in-game adaptation, but throwing the trap down on the back door of that room and playing around the Mei so brilliantly with the jump grab was pretty fun to watch.
All right, well, grab on the London right now. We'll see if they can keep alive. Gesture gets a nano boost. Muma comes through. But you don't want to be there, Muma. It was a 1v6 that he could not win. Rockets decides to honorably give his life for the cause as well, but the rest of the Outlaws have to fall back.
And the payload just keeps on rolling here. They did take some time off the clock because of their positioning on the defense, and it was kind of slowly lurching forward through that choke point on A.
Yeah.
Because all the Outlaws were in the building, but it also meant that they were eating a lot of grenades and giving up that really quick tire.
Right. Very true. Krillin on the Zenyatta now. Swapping things up a little bit. London pausing to wait for him to come back now. Back. Here we go. Prophet getting really close to another grab. Uma drops down. Had that Zarya shield. Had the armor pack. Still took a lot of damage. That got burnt really quickly. They've still got the point. Kind of locked down for the moment here.
We're going to take out Bird Ring, so good start to the engagement.
Yeah,
cool. Matt was in his pincer attack right there, and they still got him bottled up in this staircase, so nice opportunity here for the Outlaws to get some stagger eliminations. It's going to be a while before Bird Ring gets back, and they're going to just use the grab.
Yeah, why not? Try to separate Muma there, but the rest of the team able to respond. That's a self-destruct coming through. They can't get rid of the shield, but they can get rid of Nuss and Krillin and Gesture and Fury and Prophet. Everybody else, Houston Outlaws finally getting a little bit of breathing room here on the defense.
Yeah, Bird Ring was nowhere near that engagement, and Spitfire, they tried to just force ult trades right there, which they were successful in doing. Yep. But Outlaws also get a lot of time off the time bank because they play that pretty smart. They're gonna be coming back. Just a rally though. Outlaws gonna be in a bit of trouble.
Oh, Prophet. And the rest of Spitfire pushing through there. They got the rally online. Gesture shatters. That's a huge shatter from Gesture. Jake down immediately. They're going aggressive here. And the Outlaws scattered. Coolmat separated, gets debacked, and now it's on to Boink. The target selection is good, and Prophet finishes him off. That should be pretty much point B.
I mean, there wasn't a lot the Outlaws could do there. I like the fact that they played aggressively with their rally, one of the only tools they had available to them at the start of that fight. And they are just going to get pushed out right now. This will be a point A take as it stands. Maybe they actually will. No, they're going to make a defense. We're going to see it.
Yeah, they got time. No. Or do they? The grab comes through, but Coolmat is there to stop the payload anyway.
Ooh, a sound barrier. Not going to be too useful for the Outlaws committing that ult.
I don't like that one at all.
They did get the Graviton Surge from London.
Sure, but again, Prophet already a quarter of the way to another one anyway, so it's not like they're not going to have it when they need it, you know?
Yeah, they are just going to try and take the high ground right now, as we usually see from teams. Just Fury in the back, pushing the payload right now. Outlaws rotating around to try and get on top of this propeller.
Yep. That's the plan. Oh, Boink can't make it. Couldn't quite make the jump. Troll propeller. All right, meanwhile, London just slowly pushing that payload forward. Spree looking for a good place to put the grab. Keep your eye on Fury. He's got the defense matrix. He's ready, man. He's not ready enough, though, as the grab comes in. They've got the transcendence from Krillin. Rockets has to back away. Another big shatter comes in from Gesture. Coolmat pops the self-destruct. Can he live long enough to get back into his mech?
Prophet.
Prophet actually died to that. Wow, and Fury gets de-mech'd by Coolmat as well.
Spitfire continues to charge forward. They use the rally late.
I mean, they're just going to have to give this this push up.
Yeah, they are. So Outlaws, thanks to a nice self-destruct, eliminating the Zarya, going to stabilize here on the final point of Junkertown. No ults available for either team, so expect a lot of poking at the start of this next engagement.
Yep. Going to be all about getting Prophet's grab back as fast as they can for London.
Yep. That's going to be their main goal right now. Ruckus will be pretty close to his trance by the time the Graviton comes online for Prophet.
Yep. Houston Outlaws content to just push from the high ground while Muma delays the cart.
Yep, it's a good defense. Obviously, they can use the high ground for cover. Muma uses the cart and has that barrier, so it makes it harder for the Spitfire to really power up their ult charge.
You can sustain for a long time. There's a Reinhardt too between Zarya bubble, armor pack, all that kind of stuff, defense matrix. Oh, but somehow the grab gets past that. You should not be able to throw a grab right at a diva like that. They didn't get any kills off of it though, and London comes back. They did manage to force the Transcendence out at least.
Yeah, they were.
Sure, so low and point gets a finishing blow. London has to fall back again.
It's a map that London is 2-0 on undefeated this season, but Houston's defense on C has been so good. They haven't had a lot of opportunities. Now they're backing off one more time, trying to head into the spawn room to heal up.
Right.
Prophet nearly at another grab though. Same thing with Raucus, matching him in charge with that Transcendence. So good signs for the Outlaws. They should have the tools to hold.
Yeah, it's going to come down to ultimate usage as there are 20 seconds remaining on the clock right now. And even if London wins a fight, they're still not going to be able to push the payload all the way to the end. They're going to have to win multiple fights to win this one.
They're going to have 6 ults though to do it. Houston going to have the same.
Here we go. Gesture pushing forward. Got to have a good shatter. Waiting for it. All right, Reinhardt mind games and pulls. Free! Infuriates, freeze grab. That's huge for London. They're going to go forward now. Self-destruct from Coolman. Oh, Gesture, he put his shield down. I don't know why you swing there, but that's how it goes. Fury comes back with a kill on the spree, though, and London's still pushing forward. You got to stay on the payload, and the payload is moving.
He shattered the self-destruct mech, and he still died to it. That is a little bit of an unforced error there, looked like, from Gesture. Gesture now in the Doomfist.
Doomfist, why
He's
not?
trying to get back in time.
You got to get back there. You got to get ready to fight the respawn.
But Mu has a shatter. Like, how are they going to stop the shatter? No Reinhardt here.
You just punch the Reinhardt. That's what you do. Oh, you're just going under Raucus. What is this? I thought he was only just a great Widowmaker. Gesture trying to make these plays. He gets Boink as well. That's 2. He kills Soma.
3 for Gesture.
Nobody expects the Gesture Doomfist. Gets stunned. Is he going to live?
No.
Nomad finishes him off. Now Birdring, though, gets Jake. London still staying alive on this point, and I think that's going to be about it. It was a good time, guys. It was a fun time.
Wrecking Ball coming back in, Doa.
I think Houston
the reinforcements, but Houston has a huge edge.
I think so, too. I mean, Boink's a little bit low. London gets some people back here again, but we've gone full crazy down here, man. I don't know. Dust on the Soldier 76 now. Hey, he can heal, I guess, right? Gesture not done with the Doomfist yet. Another right hook from Raucus on the Tracer. We're going mystery heroes now, guys. But Houston Outlaws are going to get what they need in the end. And that was a fun way to end that round. I'll take it. But Houston Outlaws do hold.
That was amusing.
That was fun.
You could see chuckles from the side of the London Spitfire.
It was like a portal open to another universe with a different meta for a second there.
Gesture taking out 4 or 5 there at the end with the Doomfist. Not quite enough, though.
I mean, it almost looked like he was going to be able to turn it around for a second there. That was, you know, he's a man of many talents, that Gesture. What can you say? I think London definitely having a good time at the end of that one.
Yeah, Prophet always with that amused smirk on his face, it seems, and I mean, a good time there. So we are going to see that defense now. Jake still some smiles. The worst of it is over.
I mean, what can you do at this point? I mean, that's the end of your stage. You've got one more round to play. You might as well just have fun with it. You know you've got a long break after stage 2.
Yeah.
You're going to have time to fix things, so, you know, no sense beating yourself up any more than necessary with that.
Yeah, agreed. That's not the way you want to end things for sure.
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
nice to see that from Jake.
We'll let Monty beat them up instead.
I love the Outlaws, actually. They're such nice guys. I really enjoy hanging out with them.
You can't save it now, man. It's too late. It's too late. Oh, yeah, they're really nice guys.
They are.
They are. It is true.
A lovely group of human beings on tough times this stage.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, it is a bit odd to see things go as wrong as it has for the Outlaws here in stage 2. And I don't anticipate it to be the same in stage 3.
We'll have to wait and see, Doa. We'll have to wait and see.
That's right. One round to go. Houston Outlaws on the attack, a chance to win the map just by pushing it as far as the London Spitfire did. Only 2 points for them. Here we go. Jake on the Bastion. They're going to use the Symmetra to move the Bastion over. We've seen this a few times now.
Yep, we have Spree on the Roadhog. So halt hook combination, and that means what we usually see is everybody in the house right there. There's a bombing run from Fury with a Zarya bubble. Just try and knock somebody up. Does not succeed.
Kind of rolls through there. It's a good idea. He had the Zarya.
The supports,
safe anyway.
The supports are cut off from the tank line, though, and this is going to be a problem for the Spitfire.
I mean, Jake had that Zarya shield, but as soon as the Orisa one drops, he might be in a bit of trouble. That's a big fire strike coming through there, too.
Still able to delay the card from the safety of that building.
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, if the Bastion's on the high ground, you just run to the building, right? They're going to try to move him over. Again, now Raucus has the amplification matrix out. Jake doing a little bit more damage. There's the kills they need, and that's going to be London Spitfire sent packing.
I mean, London had a big conundrum there, which is that their 3 supports were split up from their 3 tanks. They went in opposite buildings on each side of the Bastion, and Outlaws played that well because they knew Spitfire were trying to regroup in one place because they kept on taking chunk damage.
Right.
But Outlaws able to cut them off as they were rotating around to join up, and some smart play from the Outlaws.
Yep. Yeah, great place for Jake, too, as things get started. Gets a lot of damage.
Oh, Spree, that was so sneaky of him.
Yeah, big right-click kill on the bird ring.
Yep, and you'll take
Oh, but Fury is going to have none of it.
But you'll take that trade. I mean, the payload's moving. You have the closer spawn. Go ahead. Die if you need to.
Sure. London jumps right back on. Krillin pops that Transcendence. They're going to put everything they've got into trying to kill Jake, but they just can't get it done. The Mercy healing is way
just
too
before
much.
that barrier came up from the Orisa.
Wow. London finally breaks through. That's going to be Houston having to reset.
Yeah, taken off the map, and now full strength here. You can see Birdring on the Batiste, providing that immortality field so that they can go in, try and play the payload. Jake up to a configuration tank. Ultimate will be online. Raucus has the amplification matrix as well, so a lot of damage come out of Jake. Prophet's gonna get this though.
Oh, he's gonna grab dude's best Battlefield Assault impression there behind the box, but Jake ready for him anyway, man. Immortality field trying to help out London, but Jake's doing so much damage until the 3K from Fury's self-destruct. Well, that ended with a bang.
Well, I suppose it is the Outback, so should be Fury's Road, right?
That's a good point. Yeah, a point A on Junkrat, officially renamed Fury's Road.
Replay coming in, take a look at Fury right here, and just punishing that amplification matrix, putting it right between everybody else. And
just dropped it right in front of Jake.
Yeah.
That. All right, well, London starting to look like they might full hold here. They've got their own amplification matrix, and they've got Fury supercharged and running in. The tank is out. Jake flying through the air, but he goes down in pieces as Prophet punches a tank to death. I don't know how that happens. It's Overwatch, guys. Muma trying to stay alive on the Orisa. Gesture in a lot of trouble. They're barely keeping him alive, though. Wow.
Yeah, they got the healing from the Batiste, though, and they have a little bit more Matrix here to protect him. Zarya bubbles as well. Spitfire, though, have to wait for Nuss to return.
Yep. And then Spitfire with just 30 seconds left to defend before they full hold and complete the 4-0. Remember, if they get the 4-0, they still put themselves in a position to maybe come out on top of the Atlantic Division. So why not? Gesture walking forward here. Gets stunned, though, could be in a bit of trouble, but Prophet kills Jake anyway. Goodbye, Bird Ring. Jake gets the res from Boink now.
Hello?
Self-destruct. No, he can't get away. Why were you resed only to die? Tragedy. And there's the grab to finish off Muma. I don't know if the Outlaws are going to get back to the point. I don't think so.
Boink is a sadist. He just reses him to die. I loved seeing that from Jake's perspective, staring into the sky and realizing that his fate had been sealed.
Oh, it's rough, man. The payload's still moving. Jake back on the Doomfist now, but Nuss there to finish him off. It's no gesture, Doomfist, mind you. Outlaws still pushing this, though. They got everybody back just in time.
I mean, there is a Widowmaker in play right now as well from Bird Ring.
Moving down, though. Yeah, Bird Ring on that Widowmaker, putting down a lot of covering fire. Cool that out of the mech, and it's only going to be everybody else falling here. Jake doing what he can, man, but that's going to be about it, I would think. Grab comes in, and yeah, that's going to be the 4-0 for London Spitfire at the end. It was a fun way to end that one, but London gets the clean sweep.
And that's what they needed, Spitfire. Clean wins, because this is a team that has not lived up to their championship run in stage one. They faltered at times. They faltered last week. But, you know, that was about as clean a win as you can get in the Overwatch League. Spitfire, red hot heading into our stage playoffs.
I can't wait to watch these guys in some bigger matches next week. That's going to be awesome. Meanwhile, for the Houston Outlaws, I mean, you got a break. You got some time to rework things. So look forward to stage 3 at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Very difficult strength of schedule for the Outlaws as well, and a very easy one for the London Spitfire. You know, you take a look at that 6-1 record, and you have to remember that they haven't had a lot of challenging opponents, so we still need to see the best out of them if they want to take home another stage title.
Now, that's really the question now. Can they take this big stage series, turn into playoff wins? Maybe the man on stage knows. Maybe Danny can ask Gesture and find out. Let's see what he has to say.
Martin Dua, thank you very much. I am here with the greatest Doomfist player of Overwatch League, Gesture from London Spitfire. Congratulations on your victory. Your Doomfist play was very, very fun to watch. And I heard that this was actually your first time beating the Houston Outlaws in the regular season of Overwatch League. Gesture, what did Houston Outlaws give you guys a hard time with before? And how are you guys able to dominate them today in today's matchup? 제가 들어보니까 오늘 경기가 이제 지금까지 휴스턴과의 경기에서 처음으로 레귤러 시즌 때 이긴 거라고 하네요. 그래서 그거를 봤을 때 좀 지금까지 좀 뭐가 제일 어려웠고 그리고 오늘은 어떻게 해서 이기시게 되셨는지 설명 부탁드립니다.
이제 예전에 저희가 휴스턴한테 많이 질 때는 메타가 많이 달랐고 휴스턴이 되게 잘하는 팀이었고 그리고 저희가 휴스턴의 팀 플레이 스타일을 약간 좀 파괴를 잘 못했었는데 지금 뭐 메타도 바뀌었고 저희도 연습을 많이 해가지고 이길 수 있었던 것 같아요.
To simply put, I think when we were losing to Houston a lot last season was because of the meta, and we couldn't really kind of break down their playstyle. But now we are playing a lot better, and we know how they play, and we were prepped very well. So that's how we were able to win today. Great job today. And also, you guys have clinched a spot in the Stage 2 playoffs. Gesture, is there a specific team that you guys want to face off against in the first round of Stage 2 playoffs? Stage 2 프로에서 만나고 싶은 팀, 이기고 싶은 팀이 있나요? 그리고 이유?
서울 다이너스티 팀을 만나고 싶고 플레이오프에서 왜냐면 저희가 이번에 졌기 때문에 플레이오프에서 이기고 싶어요.
Seoul Dynasty, because we lost to them before, so we really want that revenge. All right, thank you so much, Gesture. Everybody, give it for Gesture one more time. Thank you very much. Martin Dua, back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Danny. And it's time already to crown our Omen by HP player of the match. And it's going to be Gesture. Who else could it be? Actually, I would say Prophet maybe was in the running.
Fury.
But Fury, I mean, London just had a great day overall, but Gesture was fantastic. The way he split up the team, you can break it down better than me. Go for it, man.
This is a very good performance. I really like the way especially played on Winston in this map. Intelligent bubble placement, intelligent engages. Gesture, I think has been falsely accused of having a weak Reinhardt this season. Definitely wasn't weak today, and it's one of those things. Houston Outlaws said, come and take it. Gesture did. He took everything. He came and drank their milkshake, and that's a 4-0 for the London Spitfire.
Drank it up. It's true. 18 deaths on the day on Reinhardt. That is not bad. Where's my Fire Strike kill stat? Come on.
That's the best stat there is for Reinhardt.
Yeah. Well, Open HP player of the day. Let's look at the standings overall. Obviously, the Spitfire had already clinched the spot in the playoffs. They're 6-1. But if New York either win 3-2 or lose, the London Spitfire will win the Atlantic division.
Yes.
So big results coming up when New York plays a bit later.
Yeah, and obviously Excelsior lose. The Spitfire will also win that Atlantic division. Any other result, 3-1, 4-0, 3-0, sorry, 2-0, anything else, that's going to be NYXL on top of Atlantic.
Yeah, well, exciting match. NYXL taking on the Atlanta Reign. It's the rematch we've all been waiting for. Coming up after the break. Don't miss it, guys. More Overwatch League coming at you right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.